In today's video, I'll be showing you how to set up payroll for your LLC. Now, if you own an LLC and you're a business owner, you're probably wondering, how can you pay yourself? Can I just take the money out? Do I need to run formal payroll? And the answer is actually quite simple as a basic LLC. Since an LLC is a pass-through entity, any money that comes into the LLC that counts as profit at the end of the year automatically flows into your personal income. But when it comes to taking money out of your business account, there are a couple different ways you guys can do this. First is if you're making at least $40,000 to $50,000 net profit per year, it may be very beneficial for you to actually elect to be taxed as an S corporation. This means that you're only paying self-employment taxes of 15.3% on your personal salary, and the rest counts as distributions, which means that you're actually avoiding that 15.3% tax. In this case, you're going to want to run payroll through a provider like Gusto. Later on, I'll be showing you guys how to set this up. And yeah, when you do this correctly, it can save you guys a lot of money. But I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video about the S corp election and when and why that makes sense. Instead, I'll link below a video and you guys can check that out if you guys want. Now, the other way to take money out of your LLC is to take it out as a distribution. This is very, very simple. All you have to do is basically take the money from your business bank account and transfer it over to your personal account. When you do that, that's considered a distribution. And yeah, it's super, super easy for a single member LLC. But if you have a multi-member LLC, it does become a little bit more complex, but we're not going to cover that in this video. You can also pay yourself as a 1099 independent contractor, or of course, if you want, you can just leave the money within the business bank account. But yeah, for this video, I'll show you guys how to actually set up a formal payroll. This is when you're paying yourself as an employee. And like I said earlier, if you are elected as an S corp for tax purposes, this can save a lot of you guys a ton of money in taxes. Now, before you actually run payroll, there are a few different things you're going to need. First is you're going to need your EIN. This is going to allow you to report taxes, submit information to the IRS, as well as open up a business bank account. Next is you're going to need a bunch of information from your employees and contractors. So this includes things like their full name, when they actually started working for you, their social security number or EIN if they have a business, their date of birth, as well as their current address. When you guys sign up for Gusto, it's going to ask you for all this information about every single person on your team. And after that, you're going to need to classify your employees. So that just basically means deciding if they're an employee or if they're an independent contractor. I'm not going to get into too many details about, how you guys can decide, but I'll just say that you want to classify people correctly, because if you don't, this can lead to a lot of penalties. If you're paying yourself, you're likely going to be a W-2 employee. And if you're hiring people on one-off jobs where you don't control their schedule, then that's likely going to be an independent contractor. But double check with your accountant first. Make sure everything is as accurate as possible. So after that, you're going to want to select your payroll software, because I don't recommend doing payroll yourself. It's actually very, very complicated. And even for myself, I only have one employee, but I still choose to not do my payroll myself. I use Gusto for my own payroll. I've learned that if you guys don't choose the right payroll provider, they can definitely mess things up. This can create a lot of fines and a lot of headache for you. So it's really, really important to choose a platform that's really good. I've tried different platforms myself, and the one that I think without a doubt is the best is by far Gusto. So I'm actually going to link Gusto down below. And if you guys use that link, you're actually going to get a free $100 gift card just for signing up and running your first payroll. That's exclusive to my audience only. And if you guys use that link also, you get a small commission, and that helps keep videos like this free. So thank you in advance. So if you guys click on that link down below, it's going to take you to this exact page. And what I recommend doing is just follow along as I'll show you the first preliminary steps when it comes to setting up your payroll. So on this page, you can learn a little bit more about Gusto and what they offer. But basically, they have full service payroll. They allow you to have benefits for your employees. They allow you to track time and attendance. They help you with hiring and onboarding. And they also provide a ton of really helpful insights and reports, which help you understand the health of your business. So I'm going to come up here. It's going to ask you, how do you currently run payroll? How would you describe your business setting? For this, I'll select we work in an office. From there on, you're going to be able to create your account. After you create your account, it's going to actually have you go through the process of setting up your payroll. They'll ask for all the information we previously talked about, like information about your team members, more information about your business. This will take a little bit more time, but it's still very fast compared to some of the other payroll softwares out there. And guys, like I mentioned earlier, compliance with payroll is very, very important. You're going to want to submit accurate information. And after that, payroll is pretty much fully automated, so you really don't have to do anything. So after the whole initial payroll setup process, you're going to have to decide your pay period. So how often are you going to pay yourself or your other regular employees or contractors. Now for me, I like to pay every single month. This makes it just a little bit easier, but the most popular option is probably paying every other week. More specifically, we have weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, and monthly. There may be rules depending on what type of business you have, meaning you may need to pay more frequently than every month. And yeah, you'll want to do your research to make sure you're compliant with that. Depending on your type of business too, you may need workers' compensation insurance. So I recommend looking into that as well. And yeah, pretty much after that, Gusto is going to handle everything. They're going to know exactly what to ask you, what information they'll need from you. And from there, they'll be able to process all the payroll automatically based on the pay schedule that you set in the system. You will need to notify your team that you're paying them through a payroll service provider, and that's done via Form 8655. So this is what the inside of my payroll dashboard looks like. And you guys can see over here, we have payroll. This is basically where we're going to run the payroll. We can also pay contractors, look at expenses, as well as look at our payroll history and settings. As you guys can see, you can automate your payroll using autopilot. That's going to save you guys a lot of time, so you don't need to manually go in and do it every single month or week or whatever. But basically, the whole payroll process is very simple. You just click run regular payroll. And if you guys want to do other payroll options, you guys can do a bonus payroll. You guys can do off-cycle payrolls, as well as a bunch of other things. Again, if you have an LLC and you're not making over $40,000 or $50,000, then it's likely not going to make sense for you guys to actually run payroll. Instead, just pay yourself by pulling money out of your bank account. If, however, you are making over $40,000 to $50,000 net per year, it'll likely make sense for you to actually elect to be taxed as an S corporation. File that form yourself or have your accountant do it for you, and then set up payroll like this so that you can pay yourself as an employee of your own company. I do want to illustrate this because it is sort of a foreign concept. It's a little bit hard to understand, but let's say you have a company, an LLC, that is making $100,000 in net profit per year. So that's profit after all your expenses. In this case, it would make a lot of sense to actually file to be taxed as an S corp and run your payroll through something like Gusto. Here's how the numbers are going to work. So of that $100,000, you're going to pay yourself, an employee of your own company, a salary. It needs to be a reasonable salary. So let's say in this case, it's going to be $40,000. So on that $40,000 of salary, we're going to be paying our federal taxes, we'll be paying our state taxes, and we'll be paying that additional 15.3% FICA tax. Now, of the $60,000 that is left as profits in the company, those can be taken out as distributions, right? So you're just going to transfer that over to your personal bank account. And of that money, you're going to be paying federal taxes, state taxes, but the good thing is that you're not going to be paying that 15.3% in self-employment taxes. So you guys can see in this case, 15.3% of $60,000, that's over $9,000 in savings just for having that S Corp election. Yeah, that's why it makes a lot of sense if you have a higher net profit to actually choose that S Corp election and process payroll using something like Gusto. I know personally, I save a ton of money doing this. And if you aren't doing this yet with your LLC, I highly recommend talking to your accountant and seeing if this is going to be something that's good for you. If it is, sign up for Gusto using my link to get that $100 gift card. And yeah, see the tax savings start to roll in. So that's basically how you set up payroll for your LLC. As we covered, there are different ways to take money out of your business, and it really depends on your situation as well as the net profit of your company. Anyways, I hope you guys got a ton of value from this video. And if you guys did, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. This whole channel is dedicated to giving you guys free guides and tutorials helping you to start up your business. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.